He got
So-
best in all.
It's pretty cool. Freaking Skull Kid, man. That is awesome. Do they have a link somewhere? I love the glowing eyes.
Can I get a picture of you putting on the mask?
Oh, that is cool.
No, the master sword. Give me the master
That is awesome. Is it open?
Will he fit back there?
Yeah, sure.
When you're getting ready for a role, do you watch the anime in Japanese first?
I sometimes do, yes. Yeah, I sometimes do watch it in Japanese. Actually, that's probably, or I just look it up online and try to get some understanding what the characters are like and who I'm playing. For Bleach, I that was like the first one that I was like, oh, I need to research this. And so I started watching it on YouTube. And I was like, man, I need to know what this character's all about. I started watching it. And then I think I realized maybe a week later when I wasn't sleeping anymore. And I was just watching. I was like, because I had to get to episode 60 and find out what is he going to say for? You know? And then after that, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. This character. But yeah, I just got locked in. And what I do try to research because I like to know what's going on. If it's been done in the Japanese, I kind of have to figure out what they did. Not that I want to copy it, but I want to stay true to the character that person is playing, you know? And yeah, so. Is it time for me? It is. Okay. Guys, thank you so much. I do have another panel at 5 in, not here? No. Okay. I have another one somewhere out there. You can go ask John. He knows where it is, right? No, you don't know where it is? Okay, this is your con.
It's on the app.
Okay, so download the app. And while you're at it, download the iShine app. It's free. Yeah, well, we got a panel at 5 o'clock somewhere in this place. And then we have a concert tonight at 8:30. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you
It's tied to your neck and you're maybe been thrown in a pool. that's what it was like for them.
Here's a question you might know that's kind of the same question. We talked about how, I know Tony last week was talking about if you look at the original pilot and the original pilot that we shot with our cast, in other words, the pilot that they used to sell the show and then the first attempt to shoot episode number 1, which sucked and they had to reshoot it.
The last episode?
Yeah, well, there was the lost episode that sold the show, and then there was the first one that was actually the MMPR crew, and it wasn't very good because they had to completely reshoot it. And then they reshot it finally because they knew where they were going with it. They were like, it was much easier to know what the characters were supposed to be after shooting for 3 months.
Right.
So they reshot it. Do they have the same problems with Samurai? Do they say, okay, we think we know what it needs to be, but they weren't quite sure?
Absolutely they did. They spent a ton of time building that Shiba house, that set, that big dojo house, and not a lot of time with the cast and rehearsals. So stuff was very. Remember, you guys, how we shot? They ended because they didn't like episode 1. We ended up doing 2 through 5 first, and then we went back and tried to reshoot, episode 5 twice again after that. So they could not do that. All they did was just like stumble through and have people look really stiff on screen. Oh, I have to go that way. So if you watch the Samurai episodes on the Shout Factory, said, you'll see that the first few episodes, folks are a little stiff, and then they kind of loosen up as we went along.
Next.
Hey guys, I have a question.
Hola.
Oh, there she is.
Hola. ¿Cómo te llamas?
What is the best prank you remember pulling on set?
I think we should just start making up fake pranks.
Yeah.
We don't have to keep telling the same pranks.
Because I know we did them. That's all we did. I mean, you get a bunch of 20-year-olds out there, lock them in a room for 12 hours a day. Stuff's gonna happen to each other. I mean, babies and babies.
Just for a second.
We never pranked. We never pranked.
We were
quite meditation.
consummate professionals.
Consummate professionals at all times.
Liars.
Who did you guys? You took all their furniture out of their room? Was that
That was
Catherine?
Catherine took all of the furniture out of her room, and then so she came in and there was like a pair of pants on a hanger, you know. And then she had to go back to the set, and we took all the furniture that we could get our hands on from everyone else and left their doors open and put it in Catherine's room. So she goes to open the door, she's like, ka-dunk, ka-dunk. She looks in there, and there's, 5, couches, piles of
Where's the money? Who's got a question?
There's a question there.
Over in the
That
shark
guy.
The guy
That
in the
question
the guy in the shark suit.
Sharknado.
Sharknado has a question. Sharknado, what's your question?
This is for Paul and Jason. You guys seem to be consummate punk rockers during the show. What kind of music were you listening to during the filming and stuff, like in the early days?
With a lot of punk rock. Yeah, a lot of punk rock.
And like Jesus Christ Superstar.
Over and
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
There was some Beatles, but Narvi would always be like, Beatles, come on.
Hey, don't knock the Beatles. Don't knock the Beatles.
What was that? Oh, we're not knocking the Beatles. Okay, I was knocking the Beatles. I love the Beatles.
Brought to you by the
You
Jacksons.
guys listen to everything. Like, there would be days you guys would be playing music and it would be every genre.
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on the day.
Well, what happened? Somehow we actually had a record player. Yes, a record is a vinyl disc. Ancient technology. So we had that Jesus Christ Superstar album. And so that was like the one record that we had. We just played over and over and over. And then we had like cassette tapes. Cassette tapes were small tapes. And so we could sit there and just bring whatever.
Right, and then after Jesus Christ Superstar, we got so sick of it, we brought in Lynn and he said, which is Les Mis. Who would want to hear that every week?
You guys got stuck on Pulp Fiction, the soundtrack as well.
Pulp Fiction.
Everything. Like they reenacted every scene every morning, and they would have the soundtrack playing every morning for like 2
I know
months.
it's a little late, Karen, but I'm sorry.
No problem.
And Ernie used to bring the Jerky Boys all the time too. We listened to that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love these guys. They're great.
I don't need to talk to you. Yeah, that was funny.
What's the dance? Yes.
Question.
We're gonna hit the Black Ranger over here.
Good question, Sharknado.
Black Ranger.
Prince Sharknado.
It's funny you should mention him. That's exactly what I was going to ask about. Do you guys have any funny stories about Richard Janelle?
About who? Rich Janelli?
Richard Janelli.
Oh my God.
Do we know funny stories about Richard Janelli?
Yeah.
He was so sweet. He was like, I don't know, he was crazy with the guys, but he was the sweetest to us. He'd give us great hugs.
Yeah. He was a comedian. Oh, close Richard Janelli. He's like, don't tell him that story.
Stay on the hot maid.
He was a great family guy. I mean, he had a wonderful, warm family. A lot of us went to his wedding in Vegas. Like they had the whole show up to the casino. It was like Richard Janelli, they're getting married today. Caesar's Palace. But he'd always tell really dirty jokes. We can't repeat them. While you're sitting at the bar, and as you're waiting to shoot, he'll be behind the bar and he'll be quiet for like 5 minutes and he'd start the joke, So blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, my ears have to go to church tomorrow.
So while Narvi and I are like punching each other in the arms to like amuse ourselves, he's like just killing us with jokes. Killing us.
Yeah.
What's up?
It was funny. I remember one time he was talking about he was doing something with stand-up routine or whatever, and he was like, you know, because he was big, and he was like, yeah, I was on Jenny Craig for about 3 weeks. Then she started complaining of a broken rib, so I
That's a good joke, man. Richard Janelli was quite the ladies' man. Before he got married, he said to me one time, he's like, hey, Bully, you know, we're on the #1 kid show. So have you hooked up with any, you know, extras in your dressing room? And I'm like, no, I'm working. And he's like, Bully, what? I've had 3. And I was like, Janelli's had 3 extras in his dressing room.
In your defense, the only reason you didn't is because I was in there already. Hey, what you guys doing? Nothing. That's what. Oh, look over there. Okay. No wonder you and Spike are sharing a garage. You and I share a dressing room. They're like, that was hilarious.
Yeah. When we were in New Zealand, though, Jonathan was like, oh, it's okay. They can share the trailer. And I was like, they didn't see that coming.
Made you share a trailer with Felix?
On location. Yeah. Good. No, it's fine. Felix, he was small. You never even heard him once I just muffled him with my butt.
Down here in the front row.
That's what I said.
Okay, Bryan Cranston was one of the villains once. What was he like to work with?
We never actually, I mean, he's just a voiceover
He was
actor.
a voiceover guy,
So we never were in the same room with him. But
Everyone thought highly of him, you know, worked with him.
Very talented actor.
You know, but he was in the sound booth, we were on the town stage, so.
really, I don't want to bring it up. No, I mean, I would just encourage you to Google an interview we did in 2009 on IGN. Because my character, Billy, was actually named after Bryan Cranston. So Billy's last name is Billy Cranston. Because Bryan had worked at our former employer's company for a long time. So, but it's an interesting interview.
Really? Sorry, we're having our own private conversation.
Yeah. You know, in acting, there's several tools that you use when you're breaking down a script. One is you look at the text. What does the script actually say that happens? And then the second is, what is the subtext? What is not being said, but being said? There you go. Get your subtext on.
Next! Now the hands go up.
There you go.
All right.
What would you say was the most difficult part of working on the show?
Oh, wow.
I would say just the long hours, because we had long hours on the set, and then we had long hours doing voiceover and ADR. It was just, I mean, the girls usually were there at 5 a.m. You know, you go in the dark and you leave when it was dark. So it was a long process to
I was so
get that many
glad that I
episodes
had no
done.
hair to speak of.
Yeah.
Man, you guys were there so
We were
early.
there so early. Like, it was dark every day. You'd wake up and you'd get there and it was dark, and by the time you left, it usually was dark. So I think that was it, because you really couldn't, you know, you really didn't have a social life. You'd be so tired. At least Monday through Friday.
I bought this today.
For what?
It's a steampunk fanny pack.
I'm confused. Quite challenging me.
It looks great. It looks great.
It'd be cool to see like a steampunk Power Ranger
I
outfit.
expect that wouldn't be
Somebody needs to
accepted.
come up with one of those at the next con.
Forget it.
Next!
Yeah, that'd be cool. I've seen the steampunk Darth Vader before. That was pretty cool. Steampunk Power Ranger stuff.
Have you guys ever thought of having like a convention where you gather all of the Power Rangers from every series?
No.
And just
That's called Power MorphCon. August of next year, 2014. Be there.
Yeah, MorphCon.
That was close.
Not every single ranger, but rangers from several different casts.
Yeah, there's not a convention center big enough to hold 100 people.
Yeah.
No, I mean like up here.
Oh.
It'll be like junior high, like band seating. I'll just be on bleachers.
There'll be more rangers than people in the audience. One guy. It feels obligated to like ask a question from all the guys. The ranger over there. How was it being on the show?
Wait, no, the other one. No, the other one.
The other one.
Thank you, Q.
This question is for Paul and Jason. What ranger color would y'all actually choose if y'all became a Power Ranger?
Brown. Color? Signature brown. What color? Too late.
No, I was just repeating the question. I would like the suit to be see-through.
You could be that.
No, you can actually see the pain that latex actually does to your body. You don't, it'd be horrible.
We've answered this question before. We would want it to be like leather. We would want to be like leather rangers. You know? Because we would want to take, if we were going to be rangers, we would want to take our characters into the ranger characters. You know what I mean? So I want it to be like zippers and spikes. Totally. Just sleeveless. That makes sense.
What about the alligator, crocodile guy?
Yeah.
I guess this question's for Gen 1, but after working on the show, what was your reaction to the announcement that there was going to be a movie?
Why? What was, I didn't quite hear that.
We were excited because we just got the job, so it was like we won the lotto. So yeah, I mean, it was very exciting.
Jason and I remember a conversation we had distinctly where we were like, all right, it's been 3 years or something, and we pretty much have been put in our place, you know, as supporting characters. Like, we know that we're not going to get, you know, a bunch of really great stuff to do. We're going to wait around a lot. We're going to just come in and do little bits. So we were resigned to not be too hopeful about what would happen on the movie, and that was well placed.
Yeah.
Now, we had a great time on the movie, make no doubt. The crew was awesome. It was a great experience. But we knew that there was going to be no breakthrough character arc moment, you know.
Next.
Oh, you guys actually did a lot though in the movie, though. You guys, like, I mean, I remember you guys helped, like, save
around the world.
It might have felt like that to you, who's working every day. But man, we found colorful ways to spend that per diem.
That's right.
You guys had a car. We didn't have a car.
We bought a left-hand drive Ford Falcon, which we then used a Sawzall to cut the top off of to make it convertible. Yeah, that'll make it worse. And then, when we were done on the show, we just left it in the production parking lot.
No, we left it in the hotel.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
No, but you know what was cool? What was cool is you guys got to like see Australia, be Australia. Like we were like wishing we could.
Oh, I got to see
A
Australia.
day off because we were just like we were on set like waiting. I mean, I would take like 5-6 hour naps in my trailer because it was like hurry up and wait. Like they go, okay, we just got a light. We'll call you back in a minute. 5 hours later, they were ready for you. Like,
I love Australia. Australians are really sweet people, and we have a similar ethos. Australians love Americans, and we love them. There's a good reason, you know? So we're very similar folks.
I remember being on set and then some Australian person came up and was like, is it true what they say about Americans? I was like, what's that? That they're all assholes? It's like, I guess.
This is a true story. This is the worst prank ever. Jason Frank for like a week had a water bottle and people would walk by and he'd pretend to sneeze and like throw the water on them. So the entire crew despised us. They despised us because we'd be in the corner laughing. And so they thought they were getting like sneezed on. He'd go, "Achoo," and water would fly and hit them on the face, like, and like they hated us. They hated us. We begged him to stop. He wouldn't. So yeah, that's why the guy came up and asked you that, because Jason Frank got to him, and no one ever told them that it was a joke.
The person that came up to me was just like a random person walking on the street. I remember. It was just so random.
I had a much different experience because, like, they were. I mean,
They said they saw it on 60 Minutes after. I was like, wait, what? It's like, it was on 60 Minutes.
You had television down here?
Right.
The camera was holding their couch.
Don't even laugh, you guys. When we were in Australia, they had 3 broadcast channels, and on the set, the crew was like, hey, you know, next year we're gonna get the cable.
Seriously.
We're like, what?
The cable.
They did get the cable.
That's why we were the assholes. Because we were like, what?
And then it was 10 channels and nothing on.
Right. No, but you know what's weird is that I went to Australia and it was just like there were no like I mean I might have seen maybe 5 black people the whole time I was there. Like it was different. Like it was like the Aborigines, they lived out in the bush wherever that was. And so they would come up to me and I had these braids and they would be like random people would just come up and touch me like, are you real? Are you from the States or are you from England?
And then me and you were like, black.
That's exactly what I did.
When I was in Australia, I used to go out to the clubs. I actually got to see a lot of Australia. I didn't care that it was makeup at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was going out that night. I definitely had to take advantage of that. It was a lot of fun. But I would go to the clubs and then I would try to talk to girls there, and then girls would think that I was faking my American accent just to like pick up chicks.
Yeah, so I mean, Australian guys come here and get all the girls. Apparently, American guys go over there and get all the girls.
Really?
That's what I've heard. How would I know?
I didn't get the
It's just what I heard.
Go for it, sir.
This question is for Paul and Jason. His idea chimpanzees.
You talk a little closer to the mic, please. I can't hear you over carrying.
His idea was it to make Vulcans called chimpanzees.
Yeah. What, you want to know what the story was behind that?
Yes, please.
They were going to do a spin-off show of our characters, the Vulcan Skull Show. But, and they were pretty committed to doing it, and they decided on that whole chimp storyline to free us up physically to shoot 13 episodes of a Vulcan Skull Show. But then they exercised the focus group, and the focus group testing told them that without giant robots and kung fu, nobody really gave too much of a heck about Vulcan Skull. Well, you know, I think contextually, there's a point there.
Well, and you know, they did also sell that video. Video is a format that is anyway, but they actually sold VHS of Vulcan Skull, the Good, the Bad, the Stupid, rather than shooting a pilot, and that didn't sell well either.
Yeah, so they used the sales of the Good, the Bad, and the Stupid compilation as kind of the second death nail in the coffin of the spinoff. But you know, I mean, I think it's okay. It's okay because the characters work best in the context of the show.
There's a girl down here.
Maurice is in the house.
Are you leaving, Maurice?
Oh. He's just loving. He's just a lover.
He just wants to interrupt our panel.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
This is a panel, Maurice. Be professional. That's what happens.
That's how the funnies move around.
Drummers.
Whenever you guys first auditioned, did you actually get the roles that you actually like auditioned for?
I auditioned for your role.
You did?
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, I didn't know that. I had an audition. It was called Phantoms. It was just a casting call, and they put me on file for. I did my audition. They just kept me on file. So, and then I didn't get it. And then you guys did a pilot, and then they fired Bobby, and they withdrew the people that had auditioned for your role, and that's how I got it.
That's true. I never knew that.
Oh, yeah. That's why when I saw you, I'm like, son of a bitch, you wanted someone that was good looking.
Well, they got somebody that was good looking.
Yeah.
Man, when I first saw you on set, I was like, that dude is way too good looking to be a nerd.
Yeah.
Way too good looking.
He was the hottie. He was a hottie. All of my friends had a crush on David Yost. It was not Tommy.
I remember hearing extras talking about his
David
biceps.
Yost. Yeah.
Did you see his biceps?
I think of all of our cast members, Walter and I, Zach and Bulk, had the roles tailored specifically to the actors they had in mind.
So they kind of got the people first for the two of us and wrote the roles around us. And then I think the others kind of were filling in to kind of story-based characters that they wanted.
Well, they did, sorry.
You're still in your Goldar voice, right?
Exactly, right? No, they did, when I auditioned, they did want somebody that could do martial arts and gymnastics and tumbling. So, they specifically were looking for that. But yeah, after they hired me, then a lot of the scripts catered to whatever else I could do. So, I mean, as far as like singing and singing and whatever athletic abilities I had, they would add that to the script.
There's also a guy way back who's had it forever. And then there's a guy way the other back.
Okay, let's shoot these questions off because we've got a couple minutes left.
A few minutes.
Oh yeah, I got 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 4 minutes, run.
4 minute warning. I just have one question. How is it like to be a Power Rangers?
Awesome. I mean, it's the biggest gift to be able to make people happy just by being you. I mean, walking around New Orleans last night, I had people like, yo, dude, what? That's my hero. Like, wow.
Dude, he's not even exaggerating. I've a couple times. And
yeah, it's so cool.
14 feet or something.
Yo, dude. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
We wouldn't know. How would we know? We don't know. I'm sitting here playing with plastic water balls that I did on set all day. It's slowly going. Look,
You should see it flying. Next. Let's get one more.
One question.
Last question. Make it good. Make it good.
He's coming down.
You got to run.
Yeah, about the Zords, would you, if you could change the structure, would you prefer, like, stay with the mechanical structure, or, like, would you rather real life Zords, like a Lost Galaxy or Wild Force?
I think the Zord should definitely be mechanical. Like, that's what it made it, cool, robot, rather than, like, controlling, animals.
Yeah, and it'd be kind of hard for it to morph into one big animal.
Yeah, and it would be hard to like feed those animals and have to take care of them and stuff and keep them in captivity,
And they poo all over the place. That's a problem.
It'd be kind of interesting to see them come together, though. Like, there would have to be one that's like the body that has to like put its arms through the butts of like the tiger.
And with that vivid image, thank you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Johnny Bosch, my favorite.
Guys, come and see something at our table. We'll sign autographs.